everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be going over what everybody is doing right now, which is the end of year book tag. I have linked the original down, or not the original, but it's one of her current ones. It's one of her current ones down in the comments down below. The one that I've based this video off of. We're going to be going over the questions for that, and we're also just going to be going over general end of year videos and kind of what I plan to start in the new year, because there's just a lot of stuff that I want to do, and it's mostly revolving around purging my books from the house. So we're gonna start off with the first question, which is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? No. Really easy answer. No, I don't start books and put them down. I used to do that a lot when I was reading like 4 or 5 or 6 books all at once, but I try not to do that anymore because that was like not the best for my reading. And I would put stuff down and it would just, way too much of a mess. So I don't do that anymore. If I read a book, or if I pick up a book, I'm going to either read it or I'm going to DNF it and it's getting out of this house. That's kind of how ruthless I've been this year. So I would say no to an individual book, but there are like series that I would like to finish that I started this year. So I started the Luminaries series. I would like to get to the rest of the series before the year ends because I feel like this is definitely one of those series that is going to do better if I just read them all immediately. And they are all out, so I need to read them now so I don't collect them and then just let them go by the wayside. So I would like to finish the Luminary series. I would also like to continue in the Throne of Secrets, whatever, is it the Prince of Sins? Sin Princess does not make sense. I think it's the Prince of Sins series. I would like to continue on in that series. This is the second book that just came out. They're just chunkier books, so there's always something else that I'm like, oh, I can get to that later, but I would like to finish this before the end of the year. And that way I am caught up with this series. Another one that continued on in a series that I am absolutely loving, but I want to finish this by the end of the year. I don't think I'm going to, but it is Empire of the Damned. I loved Empire of the Vampire. It was my #2 favorite book last year. And I would love to continue on in the series. I just don't know if I have the mental fortitude to get into that at the end of the year. This might be something we tackle first thing in 2025, but I don't know. This is like the ultimate mood reading book. I have to be like, yes, that is what I want to read right now. I'm also in the middle of the Magnolia Parks series. I've read the first Magnolia Parks, the first Daisy Hates, and the second Magnolia Parks. So I am on the second Daisy Hates book, or the 4th in the series. I just would like to wrap up that series. Like, I think there's one more coming out next year. So I do need to get caught up on that series. And I love them all. They're such a good time. So I feel like they would be really good reads to catch up on in December. Because I pretty much have everything I need to read scheduled out for the rest of November and a lot of December. So it's going to be tough, like, fitting in these books. But these read so quickly that these might be like a Christmas break. And also, this is perfect, me talking about this, because for the Lazy Book Club, our December book club pick is no book, just catch up on your series before 2025, which I love. I think that's gonna definitely help me. I'm so glad we don't actually have a book for that month. So I feel like this is the best question, like my take on this question, because I have so many series that I need to get to, and that is the point of December on this channel. I think those are the most pressing ones. I'm sure there's more, but those are the ones that I really want to get to. So the next question doesn't really apply, so I am changing it a little bit, but the original question is, do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? And because it's going into December, I definitely feel like it's more of a winter book, and I do have one that I have been saving. And I have literally the most perfect of winter books to read. December 1st, I will be picking up Spectacular. I got this. When did this come out? October? So actually, I did start this book. I didn't think about that. I read like the first 2 pages and I was like, no, this is perfect for Christmas and winter season. So I did stop. So this actually does count for the first one too. But this is, yes, this is the perfect winter book to transition into the winter months and Christmas and just the holiday season. And this is one of those that you read with a giant cup of hot chocolate. And I am so excited. I think this is going to be the perfect read for winter. Obviously, it's literally written for winter. Next question is, are there any new releases you're still waiting for? See, I'm gonna pull up Goodreads because I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that I'm still looking forward to, but I've pretty much gotten everything that I wanted this year. I think Spectacular was one of the last ones, or Throne of Secrets was one of the last ones that came out late. I'm still waiting for my copy of Where the Library Hides. It is out already, but I got my copy from Fairy Loot and it's not shipping until next year, which I'm not happy about. So I am waiting for a library copy. So I am waiting for Where the Library Hides. I'm also pretty excited for the Courting of Bristol Keats. I think that is also out, but I'm getting a copy from, I think, both Fairy Loot and Owlcrate. So I am excited about that one as well. And that's about it. The next kind of stuff that I'm looking forward to is in January in 2025. So I'm really not looking forward to that much of new releases, which is good. That's very, very good. I don't need to be buying any more new releases. Next question is, what are the 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I feel like I kind of talked about that already in the series, but I think, I'm trying to think if there's anything over here. Again, I have to read Ren and the Holly Library. This is our book club pick for this month, so I definitely want to read this one. I've been dying to read this one. I actually picked this on my own. I went rogue and I picked this for the Lazy Book Club for November because I wanted to read this one so badly. So I definitely would say this one. Try not to go with the things that I've already mentioned. So I will say I would love to finish Love and Other Conspiracies. I am currently reading this one and super enjoying it. It's just really, really cute. And my husband and I are like huge fans of cryptids and stuff like that. Like, we don't really believe in them. We just love watching the stuff about them. And it's just fun to talk about. And so I just love the idea behind this. That's a romance between someone who's a skeptic and someone who really believes in it. It's adorable. And then the other one that I am so excited about and I just bought is Someone You Can Build a Nest In. I would love to read this by the end of the year. I know it's more of like an October book, but it's just one of my more anticipated 5-star prediction books that I didn't know about until Gavin, Gabby, and Katie read this on their channel. So I would like to read this so I can actually finally watch that video because there are spoilers in that video. So I'm very excited to read those. Yeah, I would definitely say these 2 and the Ren and the Holly Library. Next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? Ooh, I've already had 2 5 stars that shocked me literally in the last week. So that would be crazy if there was like even more, and I'm currently reading one that could also be a 5-star. Favorite of the year, I don't know. That is a tough one because I haven't like looked back on what I've given 5 stars. I decided to go get my actual 5-star list to share with you guys because I feel like that'll give me a good idea if something could potentially beat something on this list. I think the standouts currently are The Unmaking of June Farrow was amazing. Bride, I loved Bride. The Crimson Moth and The Rebel Witch, both of those. Ooh, Assistant to the Villain and Apprentice to the Villain. We Used to Live Here, and then I don't want to mention the 2 that I just read, but those are also in the running. So there are quite a few phenomenal books. So it would be very difficult to jump in here and be my favorite book of the year, but I think potentially Someone You Can Build a Nest In could be a favorite of the year. I think this could surprise me and just take the whole thing. Just in case I don't get to that, I brought some other options. So potentially, if I get to these, Funny Story. I could see myself loving Funny Story and this ending up being a 5-star favorite of the year just because everybody loves this book so much and this author, and I have never read an Emily Henry. So this is like one of those wild card books where it's like I could read this and this be my favorite book I've read in like 6 years. I don't know. Like, that could go either way. Could it be either I hate it or it's a new favorite? And also, if I get to this one, which I don't think I'm gonna get to this year, When the Moon Hatched, I could see this being a favorite potentially. It depends. I've heard so many like back and forth things. I've heard this is like amazing and everyone who loves Fourth Wing would love this, and Fourth Wing I think was my favorite book last year. Obsessed. See that, but my best friend who loves Fourth Wing and Iron Flame like me definitely said that this was not worth the hype that was surrounding this. So that makes me a little suspicious because she also generally knows my taste in books and she did not say I would be obsessed with this book. And the last one, which I think has the best opportunity, I am currently reading it. I'm literally, I think 50% into this book. I think this has the opportunity to beat out the others. I'm currently reading it for the purge of a video I'm doing. I am doing an Illumicrate purge all my books that I have. It is wild. I thought I was going to do it in one part, but there is going to be a part 1 that comes out probably around November 30th. And then there's going to be a part 2 that comes out whenever I finish in December, hopefully within the first 2 weeks. It is nuts. It is a crazy video, but I am currently reading The Jasad Heir, and I I love this book. I love this book so much. Like literally everything about it. I could definitely see this beating out the other books on that 5-star list and being a new favorite and just come out of nowhere, because I did not really have any expectations for this book. I was just reading it as part of the Illumicrate thing. So actually my expectations were quite low because I've been having a rough time with Illumicrate. I love this. I love this so much. So I could see this one coming out of nowhere and being like, oh my gosh, this is like the best thing ever. And then the final question is, have you already started making reading plans for next year? Yes, like we're already starting things this year. Next year is going to be the year of my library. It just has not happened this year. If you didn't know, we moved into a brand new house, and that means I don't have a library. In my old house where we lived, we had a built-in library where all my books found homes, and it's really sad because this house, I love this house. I absolutely love this house. I love this house much better than the other one that we were living in. But when we bought this house, my husband was like, there's no library built in. Like, you're gonna have to have a library. Like, there's no way all your books are gonna fit in an area that's not a library. So this house is all one floor, except for there is one separate room that is upstairs, and that room is going to be the library, but it's going to take a lot of work. So unfortunately, we piled a ton of stuff up there when we moved here just like 6 months ago. And because of my health issues, it's just very slow going. But hopefully, all next year, we're going to have a video series about building the library and painting and purging books that are up there. And that's going to be a whole series. And there's a lot of reading stuff going along with that. And then my biggest series that is starting this month, but will go through all of 2025, is, I mean, an absolute purge of my books in this house. I have too many that I'm not interested in, that I just cannot get rid of without at least trying them. Because I think I got rid of like 150 books when I moved from our old house to our new house, and it was amazing, but there's still so many more that I know I'm not going to be interested in if I try even like a page. That is going to be a series, but we are starting with the book boxes. We are starting with the book boxes. So like I said, November 30th is going to be the release of my first, I'm literally calling it the purge because it is crazy how I'm doing this, these vlogs. So we're gonna be starting with Illumicrate, and then I believe we're gonna move to Owlcrate because I have less Owlcrate books unread than Fairy Loot books, because I just have the most Fairy Loot books. And there are a lot of Owlcrate books I'm not interested in, so I think I can get through that one in probably 2 parts. And then Fairy Loot will be third. And it's gonna be a lot. And then we are starting a new series as well next year where I will be reading my book box books the month after I get them. So I'm gonna start with December 2024's books by reading them in January 2025. So every single month, this is how I hold myself accountable, I will be reading my book box books from the previous month, as long as they come in the mail. But if they don't, then I can lump it in with the next ones. So yeah, that's the hope for 2025, is some big reading vlogs, because each of those reading vlogs will have at least 4 or 5 books. I think that's pretty much all of my plans for 2025. I do want to resurrect Wheel of No Appeal, which I think could be really good for purging books as well. I'll just probably do more than one book per episode, because I was really trying to read those books. Or we'll like specifically put the chunky books on here, like Empire of the Damned would probably go on the Wheel of No Appeal. Even though it has like appeal, I just really don't want to pick it up because it's massive. So I am tempted to resurrect that. I don't know. It kind of just depends how the book box videos go, because I think those are definitely going to take priority, at least until I figure out if I'm going to keep all my book boxes or start getting rid of some of them and purging those as well. That is kind of all my plans. And then as usual, we have the Lazy Book Club you guys voted for every month again. So we're starting up in January with, I don't remember what the book is. It's listed in the community tabs. I think the polls are still open to vote for, but I think all of them are pretty set except for the one for February, I think. So anyway, that is everything that I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Make sure you like the video, and definitely leave a comment down below kind of what your guys' plans are for the rest of the year and stuff like that. And I'll see you guys in the next video.